Shalom, welcome to the Jewish Task Force JTF. My name is Chaim ben Pesach. This program is dedicated to elevating the souls of Yosef ben Meir, Brian Getcher, and Melech ben Avraham. On the issue of taxes, the best thing that can be done when it comes to taxes is eliminating the federal income tax completely, eliminating the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, and the federal income tax completely, and replacing it with a national sales tax, with what is called a value-added tax or a national sales tax. That is the best thing that could be done for the economy. First of all, let's explain a couple of things about the economy that we've learned in this past century. Socialism and high taxes do not work. High taxes stifle growth, stifle initiative, take money away from private individuals and from the free market, and cause economic calamity. That's why the Soviet Union collapsed. That's why communist China now tries to introduce as much capitalism into its economy as possible, because communism doesn't work. In the countries which still use a measure of communism to control their population, like North Korea, the people are starving to death. Communism does not work. Government control does not work. Socialism doesn't work. Free enterprise, competition, and a free market, that is what leads to prosperity. Income taxes, taking people's taxes away through the confiscation of their income, is harmful to the economy. It's harmful socially, it's harmful morally, it's harmful fiscally, it's harmful in every respect, and it does devastation to the economy. There is only one candidate, major candidate, for President of the United States who is planning to run, I think he's going to run in 2012 for the Republican presidential nomination, who supports eliminating the income tax and supports eliminating the IRS and supports replacing it with a value-added tax, or what is basically a national sales tax. And that candidate is the former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. I believe Mike Huckabee is the best candidate on 95% of the issues. I think that Mike Huckabee is by far the best candidate running, and our organization, the Jewish Task Force JTF, supports Mike Huckabee's candidacy for president very enthusiastically. But I want to explain why on this issue of taxes Huckabee is a superior candidate, superior to all the other candidates. First of all, let's understand that one of the things that is destroying America's economy and that is driving jobs overseas and that prevents true entrepreneurship and true competition in the economy is the massive taxation, this massive tax burden that the federal government unjustly and in an insane way imposes upon the American people. And the politicians do this because they want to control your money, they want to control your finances, they want to control your lives. It gives them more power. But it's bad for America's economy, and it's bad for America's future, and it's bad for America's families. And by the way, when I speak about America here, I want my fellow Jews also to understand that the policies in the state of Israel are policies of massive taxation that also are destroying the Israeli economy and Israeli entrepreneurship, and the genius, the brilliant Jewish minds that you have in Israel are prevented from truly doing what Jewish brains have been proven to do over and over again in history, because you have a socialistic, insane, straitjacketed economy in Israel, a state-controlled economy in Israel. This is a good proposal for Israel as well. Israel should also eliminate the income tax and replace it with a sales tax. What would happen if Mike Huckabee's proposal to replace the income tax in the United States became law? What would happen? Well, first of all, you would never have to worry about April 15th anymore. Those of you that pay quarterly, those of you that are self-employed and pay quarterly or do contracting, you'd never have to worry about paying quarterly payments, IRS, income tax, April 15th, filing. You'd never have to worry about those things anymore. Those days would be over. The government would no longer be breathing down your neck demanding taxes from you. When you get your paycheck, those of you that work for other companies, when you get your paycheck, you would not have these huge deductions taken out of you. You would not have these huge amounts of money taken out of your paycheck every time you get a check. Social Security tax, that would be eliminated. And all of the other taxes that are taken out of your paycheck, that would stop. You would get the full amount that you earn, your full salary you would get. But to replace that, because there is going to be a need to replace it, there's a need for some revenue for the federal government to replace that, there will be a sales tax placed upon all goods and services that you purchase. If you purchase some good or service in a store, whatever purchase you make, you will know that you're going to have to pay a certain amount, whether it's 23%, and I've heard estimates that it may be higher, but you're going to have to pay a certain amount of sales tax because there no longer will be an income tax. By the way, no longer capital gains tax will be eliminated. Corporate taxes, all of this will be eliminated. There'll be complete free enterprise, free market. What you earn, you will get to keep. When you have a job, you will get to keep whatever you're earning. You're not going to have to worry about paying Uncle Sam. If you choose to buy something, though, in the store, then you're going to have to pay a tax in the store if you choose to buy something. And so what this does is it gives you the choice. Because with income taxes, you don't have a choice. You're forced to pay income taxes. Your money is forcibly confiscated from you, whether you're self-employed or whether you work for somebody else. You are forced to pay the income taxes. You are forced to give up part of your own hard-earned money to pay for these socialist, disgusting, ridiculous, bureaucratic government programs that only harm society in any event. Most of these programs are harmful, not helpful. Most of these programs have a negative effect on society. Most of these government programs that your taxes are funding are not good for society, are not good for the country, are not good for the people. They're bad. They're harmful. But in any event, you are forced to finance this and you're forced to pay for this. And that will come to an end. You still will be paying taxes, but at least you will decide when you're going to pay taxes and when not, because when you purchase something, that's when you pay taxes. So at least you can make the decision. I want to buy something. I know I'm going to pay a certain amount of taxes. At least the decision is back in your hands. You are not being forcibly taxed. Your money is not being forcibly confiscated from you automatically from your paycheck. Or automatically every April 15th that you're forced to pay these exorbitant, insane taxes. That will come to an end. Ronald Reagan ran for president in 1980, promised to reduce income tax rates. Not to eliminate the income tax, but he promised just to reduce the rates. He said he would reduce them 10% a year for 3 years, a total of 30%. In the end, he was able to pass 25% reduction instead of 30% reduction. You know what happened to the economy of the United States? The United States experienced the biggest economic boom, the greatest prosperity in American history. In the history, in fact, of the whole Western world, because of Ronald Reagan cutting taxes. Cutting taxes led to the biggest economic boom and the biggest prosperity in American history. There was a temporary recession after that in the late 80s, early 90s, because George Bush, who succeeded Ronald Reagan, raised taxes. He said, "Read my lips, no new taxes." He promised he would never raise taxes. He broke his word. He imposed a $500 billion tax increase on the American people. It devastated the economy. That tax increase caused another recession. But the effects of Ronald Reagan's initial tax cuts were so great that even that didn't last long. In the 1990s, once again, we saw great prosperity. Now, since then, we're going back to the days of higher and higher spending and higher taxes and government growing exorbitantly, especially under Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama, the socialist Muslim who is now president of the United States, unfortunately, he is absolutely destroying America for future generations. What he is doing will make America bankrupt in the end. He is bankrupting this country. And by the way, the Republicans were also bad on this. The Republicans also were big spenders and they did some bad things, but Obama in the first year he was in office tripled the deficit. In the first year he was in office, he tripled the national deficit. I mean, that is unprecedented. He is absolutely destroying this country fiscally and economically. This is devastating what he's doing. And he is never happy. He wants more and more and more spending and is never happy. If God forbid he's reelected to a second term, and he never has to face the voters again, God only knows what horrors. We can be sure that he's going to continue his program of a socialist takeover of the economy. And that'll be the end of the United States as we know it. It will destroy the United States, literally destroy the United States. That's no exaggeration. And so it is essential that Barack Hussein Obama be defeated in 2012. He must not be allowed to be reelected. His policies are catastrophic. And the person who is best qualified to defeat him is Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee will go further than Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan cut income taxes by 25%. Mike Huckabee wants to eliminate them 100%, wants to make 100% elimination of them, and he will replace the lost revenue with a national sales tax. That will create a huge boom in the economy. Huge boom in the economy. For those who say, but poor people will suffer because poor people don't pay income taxes now, but a sales tax they'd have to pay. No, that's not true, because there will be a program of rebates for people who can't afford the national sales tax. There will be a certain number of people who just can't afford it, elderly people and poor people. They'll get rebates, so this will not hurt them. And they won't have to worry. Their Social Security taxes and their other benefits will not be taxed anymore. So you're going to see a whole new atmosphere in America. This will lead to unprecedented prosperity for America. And by the way, while we're on the issue of the economy and taxes, there's just one other thing that Mike Huckabee supports that will benefit America's economy tremendously. The greatest economist in the world is Almighty God. And God gave us the secret to true prosperity. In the book of Psalms, which was written by King David, but King David, of course, wrote the book when he was inspired by God. His words are words of prophecy. It says, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Those that love thee shall prosper." Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Those that love thee shall prosper. If you support Jerusalem and support Israel and support the Jews in the land of Israel, then you'll have true prosperity. Mike Huckabee is the best candidate on Israel, supports the Jews in Israel, supports the right of the Jewish people to the land of Israel, which is what the Bible commands us to do, which is what God commands us to do in the Bible. And so Mike Huckabee will also bring that blessing upon America. He will bring a divine blessing upon America because of the pro-Israel policies that he promises to institute. Mike Huckabee is the best candidate on taxes, the best candidate on Israel, the best candidate for the economy. He was governor of Arkansas for 11 years. He has a lot of experience. Unlike some of the other candidates, there's one candidate running who can't even put a sentence together, who's really a joke. Unlike some of the other candidates, Mike Huckabee knows how to speak, knows how to debate, knows how to lead, knows how to administrate, has experience, and has the programs that are needed to make a difference. Conservative programs and truly conservative principles. He is the most conservative candidate on the issue of taxes. Don't let anybody lie to you. He says he wants to eliminate the income tax, eliminate the IRS. There is no other major candidate that comes close to that. He is the most conservative candidate on the issue of taxes. He is the most free enterprise-oriented candidate on the issue of taxes. Don't let big business interests who don't want him because they don't want competition in the free marketplace, which he wants to encourage, don't let them fool you. He is the most conservative candidate. He is the best candidate. He has the best solutions and the best proposals. He'll be the best for America, the best for Israel, the best to make this a better world. And that's why we're supporting Mike Huckabee for president in 2012. You can join with us, by the way, if you want to join with us in spreading the word and in helping to support Mike Huckabee. You can join our great forum. You see the address for the forum on your screen. Together, we can make this a better world. Shalom.